Alright, so let's talk about and review Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. Now, really quick, yes, I do have a history with this game. I played the crap out of it back in the day when it originally released on the Dreamcast in the year 2000. Apparently, this also was on the PS1, and it had some differences there, and I did not know anything about that. I just know the Dreamcast version, and I really liked it. So, how does this game... how does it work? Well, people are calling it a remaster, but as I'm looking at the Steam page here, there is no remaster in the title. There's no remaster over here in the Steam description either. So basically, this is just a port of an old game, where as of today came out 25 years ago, and I feel old as hell. But is this game worth it? I'm going to try to answer it for people who have played the game before, if it's worth picking up today, and people who have never played it before, who are either looking to play anything new Star Wars, or if they're looking for fun, janky type games, or just maybe a diamond in the rough that they might have missed. So, first of all, what kind of game is this? How does it play? What are the good and the bad stuff, right? So, this game is an action platformer. You get to play as pretty much a couple of Jedis, some other extra characters that don't use the Force. You can play as some villain characters, and you go through a campaign spanning the events of the first movie. So you're gonna go, you're gonna go through fighting a bunch of droids. You're gonna go through and find Jar Jar. You're gonna go save Queen Amidala, go through the Sky City, all the way up to fighting Darth Maul at the end. There's a lot of stuff in between, but that's pretty much it. It doesn't really go beyond the scope of that. So the game's like around 14 or so missions, and that's including the extra things like survival and stuff. Each mission, you run around, you jump, you have lightsabers, and I guess I'll talk about if you're just playing with the base characters, because some of the non-Jedi characters won't apply to some of these moves, but you have health, you have a health meter, you have force meter, and basically you run around and you kill mostly droids. Sometimes you fight like Tatooine things and all that stuff, like Tusken Raiders and all that. But basically you have a lightsaber, and you have 3 different types of buttons for attacking. You have like a light, medium, well, I don't know if they go light, medium, heavy, but it's just like 3 moves, right? And then you can combo them into different things. You also have a block, which you have a guard meter. If you block too much, it kind of breaks, you take damage. But if you block the right time for a ranged attack, you actually shoot it back. So if they really made it feel like, blocking is really cool, because that's like really known for like Jedis, right, these days, where they have like, they can reflect anything, they're invincible. You kind of feel that way when you block, which is nice, but you're not, like, you still have to kind of play, otherwise you're screwed. But basically, you run around, you fight things, you jump, you collect the resources like health. You have a grenade. It's kind of weird. You got grenades, and there's other things in the map to grab, like challenge points, heals, and other things of that nature. And then at the end of stages, you fight a boss, and then that's it. You go to the next stage. It just moves you over. There's no giant cutscene, no overarching stories or anything like that. You just go to the next one, you fight, and move on. However, in between the stages, depending on how much points you get, you actually progress your character. And this is the really cool thing I like about the game, is you run in and you can press star, you can look through the menu, and you have a very basic skill set, like right here. But basically, this is when everything is unlocked. When you first start, you kind of have like the first 4 or 5 rows, and then you can go ahead and do stuff like this and combo those moves. Look at that. And then when you look at here, it shows you, 1. That means you've done it 1 time for that character. But then as you play, this is just the training mode, so you get to like practice everything you want. But basically, as you play the game and you go through the stuff, depending on how many points you get to increase the stats of your character. You get to choose a new combo to learn for the next upcoming stages and so on for the campaign. You get to increase your health or your force bar, so you can use more force abilities like throwing your saber, healing, force heal, do a big ass AoE to prevent enemies from hitting you. And then you can also get more extra lives, because it's kind of like an arcade game that way. That's honestly the game in a nutshell. Like, there isn't much to do besides go through with new characters and fights, because even though you're playing it over and over again, there is replayability with the characters that you do pick. They have very different movesets in the form of like, okay, instead of pressing XXB, I'm pressing XXY, but basically they're almost doing the same thing. There is slight differences, but back in the day it was fun to run around and do all these again and play it. The biggest draw of this game for me, like playing it single player is okay. I've played it so many times as a kid, and playing it today, it's very janky, and you know, when you look back fondly at stuff, you remember the good times. And I think the most times the best sort of experience I had playing this is with friends, either through the campaign, because it's kind of like Contra in a sense, where you're both on the same plane. You have to run together. You know, you get to those sections where you have to platform and someone falls, and so they're screwed. You know, you're fighting and you have to share resources. That's the fun stuff. But also another cool thing is actually going into the versus mode here and just messing around. Like, it's really stupid fun when you're like 10, 12, 13, 14, and you know, just playing here with the friends, because not only can you play the good guys, you can see Darth Maul here, but you can also play with like the droids. You can play with Queen Amidala as a gun, and you just go crazy, ham and shoot people. So overall, this game's $20, and I would recommend it if you want to own the game. But if you are looking for like a whole new crazy, this is gonna blow your mind experience, because you never heard of it, no, you won't have that here. It's actually fun for my first playthrough because you just don't know what's gonna pop up in the stages. I played it so much that, you know, going through it is a huge nostalgia bomb. But then a lot of the stuff, you know, a lot of the cracks started to show here, where it's a little janky in some areas. Well, I expected some, but some of the ones that just really like, oh my god, this happened, is during some of the escort missions. It's really annoying. You can accidentally kill your people's the people you're trying to save, and you might just think, okay, I guess I'll just, you know, die and go back to the last checkpoint you're at. But they made the weird decision to, if you accidentally kill something or they die, you restart the whole stage. You don't lose a life or anything like you would do and go back to the checkpoint and maybe lose 3 minutes. You go to the very beginning and you lose 20 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how fast you go through these things. It's very annoying and dumb. There's some also jank when enemies are like aiming at you and shooting. Sometimes, you know, their vectors are just off depending on the environments. It's, you know, it's 2000 sort of deal. So I play this on the Dreamcast, but apparently I was reading some of the other reviews. I wanted to see some other people's opinions, and yeah, people are saying like this is just the bare minimum of a port. It works, sure. Local multiplayer is what you want, local co-op, and apparently remote play works, but people are saying it doesn't. And they're also complaining that this should have like maybe some peer-to-peer, but it is the very, 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 very bare minimum of a remaster. But once again, it doesn't necessarily say remaster. So if it's just a port with a couple of extra things, like, okay, here's the things they added, right? They made it so you can change the lightsabers of some of the characters, primarily the Jedis, right? So for example, I think Mace Windu, when the game first came out in 2000, he had a blue lightsaber. But then the movies came out and it was a purple lightsaber, right? So they made it so you can interchangeably swap that, which I guess is important for some people. You also have some of the unlocked characters at the very start. So as I said before, like the battle droid Darth Maul, you can play them all from the very beginning and go play the campaign and do all that stuff, which is kind of funny. Like you playing as a battle droid and just going through all that stuff. There is a new game plus mode. You can also play on Jedi or easy mode. There is a training mode you can go through with any character. You can do stuff like jumping training, droid training. You can actually have a mode where you're practicing your blocking, the perfect pairing sort of thing. So there is that, but other than that, campaign, very straightforward. A little replayability unless you want to do the same stages over and over again just to level people up to their max. And I don't even know if there's Steam achievements for that. I'm playing on Switch, which is nice. It's not bad on Switch. The game was meant to run on Dreamcast, so I'm just like upset that, you know, they didn't put the PlayStation version on, because people were saying that's the best one. It had like more cutscene dialogues, it had destructible environments, and they said the graphics look a little better. So I think it would have been really cool if they maybe had a combination of the both. I was wondering if this was like an arcade game or anything like that, but no, I think it was just on Dreamcast and it was just on PlayStation. I'm not sure if it was on anything else. But yeah, overall, for $20 for nostalgia, if you can, you know, play this for a full day and get your money, you know, beat it or play with a friend, that's fun, no problem. It's worth it for $20. I say if you get it on a sale for $10, that's like the perfect price for this game. $10, right? But if you are playing for the first time, you have to go in thinking this is going to be fun jank, because honestly, it is. That word gets thrown out a lot for old games, like, oh, it's just an old game, you know, don't worry about the mechanics, it's janky. No, this is this is a little bit of holy shit. There's a lot of bullshit around the corners, you know. But it's funny. A lot of random things can happen. And I don't mean like janky where it's like buggy. It's like the mechanics. It's just how the mechanics are built upon each other. It's just a lot of funny moments can happen. But overall, that's it. You know, it's a cool game. It was fun in the past. But you know, it should probably stay in the past. But it's fine if you want to pick it up. So that's it. If you guys are interested in watching my playthrough, I'll put a link in the description to my Let's Play channel called Mobby vs. Games 2, where I upload the Let's Plays of anything we play. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the Jedi Power Battles, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.